You've seen the thumbnail, you've seen the title. I'm just gonna jump right into this video. The first thing you want, the first very most important skill you want, no matter what you are building, is Looter's Luck. I know it's so high up the survival tree. I'm sorry, if you wanted conditioning or if you wanted mobility, by the way, you can still do survival tree. You can do almost 2 full skill trees with the base level, with the 85 level or 75 level, I'm sorry. So I will show you right now, I will show you my ideal skill set that you should probably do, at least if you are like playing the game for the first time. You don't need expedition for this. This is just the base level. And I think it's probably the best all-around skill tree you can possibly do. By the way, as a solo player, if you are in a squad or at least in a duo, this might be a little bit different of a situation, and maybe you you want conditioning tree a little bit more. But for me, as a solo player, this right here is what you want 100% of the time. All right, so let's keep going. Looter's Luck. What is so good about Looter's Luck? Well, the reason this skill for me is on top of the list is that on average you are chasing the clock on every map you are on. And Looter's Luck is amazing skill because you always are rolling a chance, I don't know what the percentage is, but there is a chance to reveal twice as many things in a container or anything you are looking at, right? Any container you look at, so it can be a raider, it can be any container. Every time you are looking for 2 or more items in a container, you got a chance you're revealing both 2 at the same time. And I know this doesn't sound like it's that important, but trust me, it is very important, and you will see quickly. You will see in 2 raids. In 2 raids, you will see how much of a difference that makes for you. Because, like I'm saying, you are chasing the clock all the time in this game, and this will really help you. So for me, Looter's Luck is 100% on top of your list. I would go as far as to say, go into survival 3 first, just to get this skill. But you can totally go into mobility first. This is what I've done when I was just, you know, discovering skills and discovering what to do in the game. I just went into mobility. I didn't even read any other tree. But, you know, after 300 hours in the game, just telling you, please try to get Looter's Luck first as fast as possible. But before getting Looter's Luck, you will go through a lot of other skills. And luckily, the skills that precede Looter's Luck are super good as well. So the second on the list is in-route crafting and traveling tinkerer. In-route crafting, you can actually get that very quickly, very fast in the survival tree. It's like the 3rd skill from the bottom. What this skill does is, I mean, you can read it, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I will explain to you why it's that good. You can craft in raid.
Did you make the drum yourself?
What can you craft with this skill? This skill is the first part. This is the first level of crafting in raid. And what this enables you to do is I wanna say 2 very important things. I'm trying to think. Well, no, 3. There's 3 very important things you want from this skill. First, you can craft bandages. You can craft basic bandages. Trust me, you will love bandages.
You're gonna love my nuts.
You will need fabric. You can find a lot of different items that you can break down into this item. Like there is a torn blanket. There is just so many different items you can just disassemble in raid, and you can create fabric. And 5 fabric is super easy to get everywhere on the map. And once you get 5 fabric, you can easily craft bandage and you can save yourself. You can, by the way, heal yourself with just fabric, but it's very small and the healing is super slow. So you really want this skill just to craft bandages, but you can also craft the shield battery. You need, I think, 1 arc core, and you need rubber, I think, 5 rubber and 1 arc core. Both are easy to get. You will get arc core from almost any arc you kill, any small arc or big arc you kill. And rubber is everywhere. It's like in every container you will find rubber. So like just get that these items, these very common items, and you can, you know, refill your health bars easily. So the usefulness of crafting in Ark, once you get to know the game, is super high. And the third thing I wanted to mention is that you can craft, it's called something like little smoke or something like that, I don't know, it's something funny like that. But you can basically, with I think 5 chemicals, or one chemicals and I think 5 plastic parts, you can craft smoke. Why is smoke so goddamn good? Well, it's not that it's necessarily helpful, but you can actually avoid a lot of arc. This is something people don't do, I don't know why, but you can drop smoke on your feet, or you can drop a lot of them in the same place or whatever. The way the arc works is that when it's targeting you and it doesn't see you anymore, it will shoot in the same location it last saw you. So if you drop the smoke, you can avoid a lot of damage just by, you know, doing that. But you can also drop smoke when you are trying to extract. I do that a lot. So solo is a great tool. You can just get away from a lot of conflict too. If somebody is trying to shoot at you, you drop a couple of smokes and run away. Even if they chase you, the smoke will actually help you a lot to avoid getting killed. And in general, smokes are a great tool if you are a solo player. So first level crafting is definitely very useful for a solo player. Like I said, this skill has 2 levels, and the second level comes a little bit later in the skill tree, to be honest, but it's absolutely worth getting it. The second level of this crafting stage is Traveling Tinkerer, which is much higher on the list. But it unlocks only one thing that you want from the crafting thing. But trust me, late game, when you are full level and you are looking for a lot of high level gear, a lot of materials you need, this is absolute madness. This level up of crafting lets you craft hatch keys, and this is insane for you if you are solo, and if you're squad, doesn't matter. This is insane because not only that you can find crafting materials to actually craft a hatch key in raid, which means that you don't need to bring anything with you to get a hatch key, but what I do a lot is that I will get the crafting materials to craft hatch key in raid, and what I do is that I craft the hatch key last minute, which means that I don't need to put the hatch key in my safe pocket. And if somebody kills me for my stuff in my inventory, they will have to have this skill in order to craft the hatch key themselves, or they don't get any hatch key at all. So like, it's sort of like a safety precaution, you could say, but also it's great because you don't need to even bring the materials with you at all. You can just find them. It just depends if you know where to look, but you can totally find them. So for all of this, for these 2 skills, definitely worth getting the survival tree, by the way. Okay, so the next thing you really want is Security Breach. And yes, you guessed it, it's another survival tree, and this one is pretty famous, so I don't need to explain it, but it's at the end of survival tree, and this lets you unlock these cabinets that are just normally not unlockable by, you know, normal standard user, but you do need a skill for this. And the thing is, this I would not normally recommend to anybody because I don't think it's exactly worth it to getting it just to get the loot, but hear me out. The one reason I think you need this, you will be encountering these locks in your key rooms, because you will be regretting it when you are unlocking like a high value doors with your key, and you are literally missing out on like a huge potential, honestly, with a lot of good loot, just because you don't have a skill for it. And you can totally squeeze in this skill and still get a lot of other good skills from other trees. So like I said, I would highly recommend you getting this, just because you are wasting a lot of, you know, a lot of good stuff. Even if you don't have a key room, you still are missing out on a very easy good loot just from this. But it really hurts when you get the key, you get really high level key, and there is this thing just sitting there and you are not able to loot it, even though, you know, it's yours. That loot belongs to you, but somebody else coming by who has the skill will just get free loot because you don't have the skill. So That just hurts in general, so I would recommend you getting it just so you don't, you know, burn yourself like that. For the next couple of skills that we will cover now, we'll actually go to the mobility tree. So, the first two skills that you want to focus on very hard is the Marathon Runner and Youthful Lungs. These are again very self-explanatory, but I will just brief you on it. Marathon Runner is just that you basically can sprint around much longer for the same amount of stamina that you have, and Youthful Lungs is just that your maximal stamina increases, which means that when you combine these two skills, you are just all around faster around the map. Automatically recommend you getting these two skills. The next skills actually on the mobility tree are way up, and they are both the end game skills that you get. One of them is Vaults on Vaults on Vaults, and the other is Vault Spring. A lot of people think that these two skills are not really good, or they are not good for anything. I will explain to you after using them for, like I said, like about 150 hours, I will explain to you why they are actually really solid. Vaults on Vaults on Vaults lets you vault,
say that again,
across anything without using stamina. All of the good skills in this game don't sound good until you start using them, or when you start needing them. Specifically, I found this incredibly useful when you are running away from Ark. And the most I will ever run away from anything is probably Rocketeer.
No.
And when you are running away from a Rocketeer, you will be vaulting a lot because you are trying to get any cover that you can find. You want to at least temporarily find something you can vault over. And when that costs stamina, you will probably die to the Rocketeer. But when it doesn't, you will be able to basically vault and cover a lot of area without using any stamina, which also, by the way, means when you are not using stamina, the stamina is regenerating. It doesn't mean that it's stagnating, it's regenerating. So the amount of time, the couple of seconds that you are using to vault without using the stamina, you're actually gaining it back, and that like snowballs a lot. When you're running away from something, this is actually gonna save your life. And it actually does come in handy having the second skill that I was talking about, which is Vault Spring. But Vault Spring actually does, after every vault that you are making, you can press spacebar at the right time and you will actually jump away from the vault, from the object. You don't just vault over it. And what that actually does is like, it's much less useful in the sense of like specific example, but I find that when you are trying to cover, like when you're trying to get on the other side of something, the problem is that your character can't just get on top of the object it's vaulting over, right? Like usually when you have like a staircase, for example, and you want to get from the one staircase to like at the edge of something else, and there is like a big opening in between that you will fall down that and you will die. You can vault over it, but that's it. You don't really get on the other side. But if you have this skill, you can vault over it and then jump and you will cover that distance. I'm not sure if I'm explaining this like to satisfaction, but the situations where you will use this will increase once you understand that you have that ability. A lot of people think this is really useless to have because they are not using it and they don't have it in the back of their minds that they have that ability. Once you adjust yourself and you know that you can do this, you will find using it a lot. It's very useful once you kind of understand that vaulting automatically means you can jump. And that is something that like people don't often recognize as a good ability to have, but that's just because a lot of people just go to survival and conditioning a lot and they don't get these two skills, but they are in combination, they are actually super useful, so I would recommend them 100%. And so the last skill I want to recommend to you today and to cover is Broad Shoulders. I know pretty anticlimactic end for this video, but actually I do think that this is something that you should really consider for the survival tree. This is something that I've noticed people don't really get what's happening when they are using it, so I will briefly explain. Whenever you are over encumbered, which means that you are automatically, when you get into red and you are carrying more than you can handle, which the inventory will automatically tell you, when you have this skill, this number goes up. Even if you go over the limit, you actually are not slowed down by the weight. Like I said, it's on the bottom of the list. It's not the best thing you can get in the skill trees, but in my opinion, this skill is definitely in the top 10, just because it's actually, you know, when you are looting a lot, it does help you. And now that I have reset and I'm looting a lot, I would really love to have this skill, just because I'm walking out of every room and it sucks. So I would definitely recommend this too. So before I end this video, I just wanted to quickly mention the conditioning tree.
Ah boy, here we go.
If you did the expedition and you're starting over, you will have 5 more, max 5 more skill points that you can use. I can't really say that I am like a fan of any of them. I would say if you have 5 extra skill points after you did the 3 that I mentioned, that I will be doing, you will have 5 points. I would recommend you going into Proficient Prayer. That seems like the only thing in this entire tree that is actually worth pursuing. You will get to have, if I'm counting right, you will get 3 points max in it, because you still need to unlock 2 skill points in front of it. So you will get 3 out of 5 on the Proficient Prayer. I would say that's pretty good skill to have. Overall, just nice to have it. But just to clarify, to be completely honest, there is almost nothing in this entire skill tree that is worth to get. I don't know if somebody thinks it's worth it. There are a couple of skills that are interesting to read, but when you compare it to mobility or survival, it's just really low grade. So I don't have any experience in conditioning because I've never unlocked these skills. So my recommendation comes from my experience, and I don't have a real experience with conditioning tree, so I'm not recommending any skills. I will try to be getting to the Proficient Prayer, because I think it actually does sound like solid skill. But other than that, it's like none of these skills sound good to me, so I'm not recommending the skill tree in general. Alright, that's all from me, and I will see you later.